This is a video to help you simplify radicals. And what we're looking at is the square root symbol, which is this right here. And we also need to know perfect squares. I had uploaded a sheet like this. And what we're looking at is the square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9 is 3, etc. And so the sheet will help you fill it in. We just need that front side. You don't need to do that other side if you don't want to. So let me give you a couple of examples to simplify radicals. First, I'm going to do the square root of 75. And what you're looking for is two things multiplied together to give you 75. I'm going to choose the square root of 25 and the square root of 3, because 25 times 3 gives me 75. But the reason that I chose this factor is because the square root of 25 simplifies to 5. And then what you do with this one is just rewrite it that that's the square root of 3. And this is simplifying a radical. Let's try it again. I'm going to do the square root of 18. And 18 has a lot of factors, but the one that you want to choose is the square root of 9 with the square root of 2. 9 times 2 gives you 18. But the reason that you chose this one is because the square root of 9 simplifies to 3. And then you just rewrite the second radical. We can also do a similar thing with division. For example, if you had the square root of 2 divided by the square root of 6, you can simplify as if it was under one radical. 2 divided by 6. That is 1/3, so this is the radical 1/3. But you don't have to write these steps down. You could just simplify the fraction, and your answer is the square root of 1 over the square root of 3. Don't forget, though, the square root of 1 does simplify. This is 1 divided by the square root of 3. For multiplying the radicals, it kind of works the same way. What you're doing is just multiplying the two numbers. So, for example, the square root of 5 times the square root of 20. When you multiply those together, they give you a square root of 100. To simplify that, that is just 10. When you have the square root of 6 times the square root of 6, you should be able to identify that once they're the same, it simplifies to be 6. But let's go through the motions. We're going to multiply them together. That would be the square root of 36. And that simplifies the square root of 36 to 6. So once they're the same, the answer will be just that number that they have in common. Let's do one that's a little bit bigger. We're going to do the square root of 12 times the square root of 15. And that equals the square root of 80 once you multiply those two together. What you're trying to do is find the factors such that this one is the biggest perfect square for this number. 36 happens to be the factor. The other one is 5. How did I get that? You could do a lot of things. You could start checking with your calculator by division. So divide this one by perfect squares. I would start from the bottom up just to get the biggest one possible. And then the answer would be the other number that you're multiplying by. The square root of 36 is 6. Square root of 5 is your answer.